A very nice update and changes coming into Apex, and it involves removing some RNG in the game, which I'm always for. Although there's not a lot of Apex news going on right now, there is one thing specifically that we're going to talk about in this video. So if you guys want to stay up to date with all things going on in the Apex news world, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's dive into it. So firstly, I wanted to mention that ever since these new patch notes came out, or the patch itself that involved some of the legend changes, one thing that a lot of people have been discussing, and even in my last video, and I guess I want to take a little bit more of an official poll here, is the Horizon audio change. Another streamer named G Dolphin said, did anyone actually notice the Horizon audio change? And Zeratricky, another pro player, says, absolutely not. I feel like it got worse. And I also said the same thing the other day on a YouTube video, because I felt like I'm still getting the same issues where Horizons are somehow on top of me, and I've not heard a single thing of them dropping off their gravity lift or dropping in general, and there's still no audio of them landing on me. More players would go on to comment this as well, and this is literally like the top comments on this guy's post as well. It's gotten worse. Audio feels worst I've ever seen it. So interested to see if you guys felt the same way or not. Now, also wanted to mention this one I found really interesting because I hadn't specifically seen this. I did know that the devs were looking into something in this category, but I didn't know that if they had actually confirmed what they were trying to do or any of the changes that they were going to make, and it seems like it has been confirmed. So as you guys know, it's pretty common for top pros to be seriously in the loop, right? Of course, you have a lot of people, especially developers, that look to pro players in their opinion for the state of the game and changes on the game that they would like to see, because not only is it them sharing their opinions about the game with the audience, but it's also because they have a lot of experience in gaming specifically and at a high level in the competitive atmosphere. So of course they take their opinion seriously. Now, these were conversations recorded by two really big pro players in the scene, one of which is one of the biggest pro players in the scene, and that is Sweet Dream. So firstly, if you guys did not know, there's currently a glitch going on right now where all the respawn beacons, for whatever reason, are currently set at 100% spawn rate. Now, this normally is obviously not the case, and this is one of the biggest reasons you have teams that fight for their own POIs. Like TSM, for instance, want the best of the best POIs because they know they're one of the best teams. And a part of being a really good POI is how high of a percentage the spawn rate is for the respawn beacon. So back in ALGS year 4, NRG was consistently landing at staging because I think it had like a 95% spawn rate on the beacon. And then later on that would change. And of course, that was a really big deal. So Nasky for 07 on the European side says, why the F do pros not like this new glitch of 100% unintended beacon change? Let me hear some actual well thought out arguments, because in my opinion, it's absolutely bricked to wish for RNG in a competitive environment, and 100% beacon is the best change to ever grace this game. I personally do agree. I've always preached that I would like less RNG in a competitive type game, and I really like this idea. Now, I also understand the implications of, you know, drop spots and POIs in the game, and how are you going to balance all of that? Well, Sweet Dreams for Team Luminosity, obviously you guys probably know by now, he switched over from NRG to LG, and he says, I only think that the idea is terrible because the devs have said that it is a bug and it is getting fixed before Pro League. If it was an intended change, I don't know about that either, that would be one thing, and it could be good, but it's just brain dead playing the game when it will be patched pretty soon. And obviously it's understandable not trying to get used to something that's not going to be there for very much longer. Now they go on to talk though, and Nasky says that's a valid take, but do you think it would be a bad change in the future? In which Sweet responded that 100% beacon rate would probably be great if you could pick where you could land on the map, or at the very least that the flight path would always cross the middle. Nasky said, I knew you were a smart guy, but then also said that change, by the way, is happening. The devs already say that it is, and he means specifically picking where to fly from, which I thought was a very interesting concept. Then Sweet would go over to also say, yes, it is true, and that will be exciting, and there's a lot more that could change after that because the game will get a lot of RNG removed. Now, as far as the competitive nature of the game goes, I would really like for there to be like a pre-game lobby similar to how H1Z1 had, and maybe each team could go and pick a drop spot for their team to land at, because I think that would also help ranked get a lot better, rather than having like one team land at like every other POI and then have like 6 teams landing at the main POI. Teams had a place where you could call drop spots, or pick the drop spot you wanted to land at, or pick the flight path that you wanted to land at. You might get a lot more evenly dispersed teams landing at different POIs, and it seems like that is a feature that they are working on. Now, what exactly will it look like being able to pick where you're going to be able to fly from? Not sure. But as the devs look to make this change, I'm interested to see what you guys think would make this absolutely perfect. What if there was like 4 dropships and you all saw their flight paths and you had to aboard one specific dropship that you wanted to choose so that you could go to that one specific POI that you wanted? Interested to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all things going on in the Apex Legends news world. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.